The modern food industries and the overeating habit is has spawned is just one example of the second law of behavior change. Make it attractive. The more attractive an opportunity is, the more likely it is to become habit forming. Look around. Society is filled with engineered versions of reality that are more attractive than the world our ancestors evolved in. Stores features mannequins with exaggerated feet and wish to sell clothes. Social media deliver more likes and praise in a few minutes than we could ever get in the office or at home. Online porn places and places together simulating scenes at a rate that would be impossible to replicate in a real life. Advertisements are created with a combination of idealism, idle lightning, professional makeup, and a photoshopped edit. Even the model doesn't look like the person in the final image. These are the supernormal stimuli of our modern world, the exaggerated features that are naturally attractive to us, and our instinct go wild as a result, driving us into successive shopping habit, social media habit, porn habit, eating habit, and many others. His history serves as a guide. The opportunities of the future will be more attractive than those of today. The trend is for reward to become more concentrated and stimuli to become more anti. Junk food is a more concentrated form of calories than natural food. Hard liquor is more concentrated for alcohol than beer. Video games are more concentrated for a form of play than board games. Compared to nature, these pleasure peak experiences are hard to resist. We have the brain of our ancestors, but temptations they never had to face. If you want to increase odds that behavior will occur, then you need to make it attractive. Throughout our discussions of the second law, our goal is to learn how to make our habit irresistible. Well, it is not possible to transform every habit into a supernormal stimulus. We can make any habit more enticing. To do this, we must start by understanding what a craving is and how it works. We begin by examining a biological signature that all habits share, the dopamine spike. The dopamine driven feedback loop. Scientists can track the precise moment and craving occur by the measuring a neurotransmitter called dopamine. The importance of dopamine becomes apparent in 1954 when the neuroscientists James Ord and Peter Milner ran an experiment that revealed a neurological processes behind craving and desire. By implementing uh, elec- electrode in the brains of rat, a researcher blocked the release of dopamine. To the surprise of the scientists, a rat lost all will to live. They wouldn't eat, they wouldn't have sex, they didn't crave anything. Within a few days, the animal died of thirst. In follow-up studies, other scientists also inhabit the dopamine releasing part of the brain, but this time they quieter little droplet of sugar into a mouth of the dopamine depleted rat. Their little rat face lit off with pleasurable greens from the tasty substance. Even though the dopamine was blocked, they liked the sugar just as much as before. They just didn't want it anymore. The ability to experience pleasure remained, but without dopamine desire died, and without desire action stopped. When other researcher revolve reverse this process and flooded the reward system of the brain with dopamine. Animals reform habit and breakneck speed. In one study, micro receive a powerful hit of dopamine each time they poke their nose in a box. Within a minute, the mice develop a craving of strong. They began poking their nose into the box 800 times per hour. Humans are not so different. The average slot machine player will spin the wheel 600 times per hour. Habit are dopamine driven feedback loop. Every behavior that is highly habit forming, taking drugs, eating junk food, playing video games, browsing social media, is associated with higher level of dopamine. The same can be said for our most basic habitual behavior, like eating food, drinking water, having sex, and interacting socially. For years, scientists assumed dopamine was all about pleasure, but now we know it plays a central role in many neurological processes, including motivation, learning, and memory, punishment, and aversion, and voluntary movement. When it comes to habit, the key takeaway is this: the dopamine is released not only when you experience pleasure but also when you anticipate it. Gambling addicts have a dopamine spike right before they place a bet, not after they win. And cocaine addicts get a surge of dopamine, and they when they see the powder, not after they take it. Whenever you predict that an opportunity will be rewarding, your level of dopamine spike in anticipation, and whenever dopamine rise, so does your motivation to act. It is the anticipation of reward, not the fulfillment of it, that gets use of take action. Interestingly, the reward system that is activated in the brain when you receive a reward, and same system that is activated when you anticipated the reward. This is one reason the anticipation of experience can often feel better than the attainment of it. As a child, thinking about Christmas morning can be better than the opening of a gift. As an adult, daydreaming about an upcoming vacations can be more enjoyable than usual being on vacation. Scientists refer to these as the differences between wanting and liking. Dopamine spike, reward, okay, craving, reward, response, like the, okay, one thing. Let me